Portland be the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez, sponsored by 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
I'm glad it's over, and hope that I'm never in this position again.
We don't want to go through this anymore. It's time for us to start winning basketball games.
Woo. Chauncey Billups, Joe Cronin speaking for all of Rip City. What's good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando, alongside the one and only Art Edwards. How you feeling, man?
I'm glad it's over. Feeling good.
Yeah, all of us are.
Yes.
That's because it is over. The tank has reached its final destination.
Oh, yeah.
And it went out with a bang. The Golden State Warriors delivered the knockout. It was like the meme from Rocky IV. Throw the towel. The Warriors were on pace for 200 points. I'm not kidding. They dropped 55 points in the first quarter alone. Yeah, a double nickel. The most points in a first quarter in NBA history. The sad part is, if you threw out the first quarter, the Warriors still win. Final score, 157 to 101. It's the worst home loss in franchise history. Closing out the season, losing 15 of their final 17 games. So the Blazers finished the season 33-49. They're locked into the 5th worst record in the league. We'll find out if all this tanking will pay off May 16th with the NBA Draft Lottery. They have a 42% chance of landing a top 4 pick.
Okay.
And a 10% chance of landing the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Of course, that'll be this guy, Victor Wembanyama, the 19-year-old from France, 7-footer who could change the franchise overnight. How do you do that? So if hitting the lottery is plan A, what's plan B for the franchise? What if it's a top 5 pick? Damian Lillard made it clear he's not interested in drafting another young player who needs time to develop.
I don't have much of an appetite for building and, guys 2 and 3 years away from really going after it. I just ain't interested in that, being honest. And this is not a secret, you know what I mean? I want a chance to go for it. And if the route is to do that, then, that's not my route. So, I think we all in line with doing what we got to do to put a team together that we can actually go out there and get something done.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Art, what is Dame saying there?
Get me some help right now, as quickly as possible. Not somebody that is going to take a couple of years to develop. He needs a star player that he can be out there on the court with.
And like you said, it's not a secret.
No.
This is what he's been saying for the past couple of years.
Yes.
So, Art, do you agree with Dame?
Oh, absolutely. If he's going to stay in Portland, this is something they have to do. They have to get an established star to come here and play in Portland alongside him. If they don't...
Doesn't this offseason feel different?
Yes, very different than it has. I've been here, 15 years? Don't remember one like this.
Yeah, it feels like it's time or else. Major changes are coming for this team.
Oh, yes.
Very interesting storyline. So even though the tank is over, we're just getting started here in Rip City. Now, there are 3 ways you build a roster: the draft, free agency, or trade. Well, Dame isn't interested in the draft. Portland hasn't been a destination for big-name free agents, so that leaves trade as the most likely option. The Blazers have some assets to work with, picks or even giving up players on the current roster. We're headed towards one of the biggest off seasons in years. There's urgency, and it's up to the front office to make it happen.
sometimes, if you're in a hurry, if you're trying to speed things up, you make mistakes or you leave, you trade a really good player, but it's something that we have to live with sometimes too. Like if we're committed to winning now, we have to be able to live with, what the future holds for some player that we traded.
So the emergence of Shaedon Sharpe has been one of the bright spots. His goal is to start next season. At 19 years old, sky's the limit. He played in 80 games and showed his potential down the stretch, averaging nearly 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Like General Manager Joe Cronin said today, it's a good problem to have. But you now have 2 studs playing the same position, Sharpe and Anthony Simons. So Art, can the 2 coexist, or is it likely one of them gets moved?
Well, I think they can coexist if Damian Lillard moves on, because that's the backcourt of the future right there. If Dame is still here, one of them, I think, moves.
Well, realistically, this team has made it clear they're building around Dame.
Yes.
They're going all in.
Yes.
So that leaves the other scenario. Which one do you think is more likely?
Yeah, probably Anthony Simons. You know what? I think maybe Shaedon's upside looks to a lot of people a little bit better. He's a little bit bigger, probably could play some better defense, and he's a couple of years younger.
Right, and a few million cheaper.
And cheaper, yes. That's maybe the big thing.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a shot at Anthony Simons.
No.
But when you're looking at this roster and the value and what other teams might find interesting or intriguing, Anthony Simons checks a lot of boxes when teams are going down that roster saying,
No doubt.
who would I like to play with?
That's right.
So it's going to be, I think, one of the big storylines throughout all of the offseason is what happens at that guard position.
That's right.
And can those 2 play together, or will we see a big move happen?
Yeah.
We'll find out. Now, there are a handful of players on the roster heading into free agency, most notably Jeremy Grant, who's an unrestricted free agent this summer. He got here in June and he put up the numbers, averaging about 20 and 5 per game this season. According to Jason Quick of The Athletic, Grant received an offer back in January for 4 years worth about $112 million.
Ooh.
It might cost the Blazers even more than that, but it's clear they want him here, and he wants to be here too.
It's a family setting. I think just being here for this year, I've been able to become really close friends with a lot of people on the team, a lot of the staff, a lot of people here, and I think for me, that's a huge part of where you want to work, who you want to be around all year, or for the next 5 years or whatever it might be.
So it comes down to getting a deal done. Both sides feel good about. So Art, do you put signing Grant pretty high on the priority list?
No, absolutely. Yeah, right up near the top. With making the deal to get another player.
What do you like about Grant's game that has stood out to you this year?
Yeah, I like the fact that he really fits in, with what they want to do. He'll play some defense. He can score for you if you need him to do that. He's just a guy who, comes in and says, I'm doing my job. What do you need me to do?
Yeah, there's no doubt he's worth it, and all of the things that they've had to invest in getting him here in the first place. You want to make him happy. I think the bottom line is the Trailblazers need to get the deal done,
no doubt,
and start moving on to some of these bigger challenges that await the roster. But I agree with you; they've got to get it done, and he's been worth it. He's a good player,
absolutely.
But they're going to have to pony up.
No doubt about that.
Something we'll be following along the way this offseason. All right, we got much more Sports Sunday still to come. LeBron hit the Moda Center last night. His son Bronny was in the spotlight, but it was a local star that got most love at the Nike Hoop Summit. Plus, look who's dropping knowledge on the park blocks. Hey, I know that guy. Art catches up with the Portland State Vikings for spring football. Woo-wee! Many of the top high school basketball players on the planet were in the Rose City this weekend competing in the annual Nike Hoop Summit. More than 9,000 at Moda Center. Team USA versus the world. There was lots of star power. Chris Bosh, Draymond Green, LeBron James in the building.
Wow.
And his son Bronny went to work. Gets the hoop in the arm. Finished with 11 points. And hey, we know this guy. Lake Oswego's Marshall Cho, coaching up the world squad. He's putting in work there. And he wasn't the only local connection. Westland's Jackson Shelstad received a loud ovation when he stepped on the court. made the most of his opportunity. The future Oregon Duck dropped 8 points in 15 minutes of work, helping Team USA win it 90-84. Shelstad, the two-time Oregon Gatorade Player of the Year, feeling the love from his home state.
And it felt good just knowing my state had my back out there. It was just a lot of fun to take the court with these dudes and represent our country as well. Really grateful I was able to compete with these dudes all week, learn from these coaches, and then, I mean, just playing in this game, representing USA, getting the dub is just a huge blessing to go out on a high school career.
Art, you got a chance to see him. What'd you think of his performance out there?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic, man. He can really shoot the ball.
Yeah, I went out there to practice, saw him working, and there is no doubt in my mind that this dude is ready. He competed against some of the best on the planet, and he did his thing out there. Lots to be proud of, especially for the folks at West Linn.
That's right.
All right, it's time again to go to that alternate dimension, to explore paths not originally chosen, a place of opportunities. You hope? We're entering the transfer portal. And some key players are leaving the University of Oregon, including starting point guard Te-Hina Paopao. She averaged about 13 points per game. And India Rogers had put her name into the WNBA draft, but changed her mind and is looking for a new college to play at. She led Oregon with nearly 16 points per game. And Sedona Prince, she also pulled her name out of the draft. She's already landed a new college spot close to home in Texas. She'll play for TCU next fall after missing all of the past season. Now, one of the Portland Pilots greats is ready for the next level. Alex Fowler keeping her name in the WNBA draft. The four-time All-West Coast Conference forward giving up her final year of eligibility for the pros. Fowler is the program's all-time Division I leading scorer, helping guide the Pilots to 2 WCC tournament titles and 2 NCAA tournament berths over the past 4 years.
Oregon and Oregon State finished off their baseball rivalry series at PK Park this afternoon. The Beavers, they erupted for 5 runs in the first inning, including a grand slam.
Whoa.
Yeah, they held the Ducks hitless over 7 2/3 innings, crushed the Ducks at a 12-2 win. With the win, the Beavers won the rivalry series. Oregon State opens a series against Gonzaga at home tomorrow. The Ducks start a series with San Francisco at home on Tuesday. We'll be right back.
To the goal line. Clausen centered. One-timer. That'll do it. That'll do it. The heartbreaker. Robbie from DeLorme wins it in overtime. And Portland moves on to the Western Conference semifinal.
Oh, love that call. Light the lamp of Robbie from DeLorme. A walk-off win for the Winterhawks to close out the playoff series with Everett. 4-1 is what the score was in the playoff series. Portland plays the Kamloops Blazers in the second round of the playoffs. That series starts on Friday, and it is your Toyota Sunday Sizzle. Well, down in Augusta, Georgia, players had to put in a lot of extra work to finish out the Masters today. When it was all said and done, Jon Rahm turned the 30-hole marathon into victory. He came from 4 shots down to pass Brooks Koepka to win the green jacket. Rahm finished at 12 under par, won by 4 shots over Koepka and Phil Mickelson. Mickelson shot a 65 in the final round. He became the oldest runner-up in Masters history.
All right, Art, let's kick it. It was the first Cascadia match of the 2023 season. Portland Timbers visiting the Vancouver Whitecaps. So we roll north of the border. This match was scoreless until the 74th minute. Aljaž Ivačić doing everything he could to keep a clean sheet. But the Whitecaps break through, right place, right time for Brian White. That's your game winner. Vancouver gets the shutout 1-0. The offensive struggles continue for the Timbers, who folded 12th in the West, winless in their last 6. The Sounders come to town on Saturday.
Hey, let's step out onto the gridiron. The Portland State football team back to work. The Vikings kicked off spring practice about a week ago. They'll work out for a total of 3 weeks. The team returns 42 letter winners from last year, ready to improve on a 4-7 season, sporting the top-rated recruiting class in the Big Sky Conference. Head coach Bruce Barnum is feeling good about this year's team.
Each year, we're looking to put one together, because everybody just looks at the wins. It doesn't matter who you play. We're building winners here, and it's going to pay off on the field. If we keep them healthy, we'll be in the playoffs.
All right, the spring game is April 21st over at Hillsborough Stadium. Portland State's season opener is September the 2nd against the Oregon Ducks at Autzen Stadium.
Oh, man. Art, I heard you were at practice. And
I was.
You talked to the team?
Yeah, I got to chat with the guys a little bit, told them that we love seeing them. AJ and I have been to a game, and we love that. But I also told them it's really good to see some young guys out there following their dreams.
See? That is heartwarming stuff. This is why we have Art Edwards on the show. All right, Vikings, the pep talk. I hope it works.
Yeah, so
Coach Barnum says playoffs.
Playoffs?
Playoffs. Let's see it, Coach. We'll be right back. All right, did you see this? Former West Linn and Oregon Ducks star Peyton Pritchard had a day. He notched his first career triple-double. Pritchard had 30 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. Whew. Listen to this.
Yeah.
He joins Larry Bird, John Havlicek as the only players in franchise history to hit those marks. That is elite company that Peyton Pritchard is joined.
How'd you like to be in the media guide next to those two guys?
Right.
That's going to be something else.
Automatic.
Oh, yeah.
Celtics legend when you do stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool to see how far he's come, right?
Yeah, from West Linn. Man, that's something else.
Man, that is big time. It's time to go to bed.
Yes,
Ready to
it
call
is.
it a night, man?
Ready.
Thank you so much for rocking with us here on the show, Night Owls. It is time to go. Good night, everyone.